If you want to know what's in the Clark Home Garage 300-piece repair kit, then this is the video for you. Right then, I've taken the liberty of removing it from the packaging. There's the box out of the way, right? That's down on the floor over there. And here's the tool chest. Wow, what a beauty it is. Look at it. In the Clark red that you get from Machine Mart, matches the engine repair table, doesn't it? And it's a striking colour, and I do like it. You know, you build it up, get a bit of colour behind you. You've just got plain timber and jumble, really. So, right, what are the thoughts behind a toolbox then? Jimmy, you've got loads of tools. We follow you on social media, subscribe to your YouTube channel. You've got workshops everywhere, you've got tools in the truck, you've got tools all over the place. Well, that's exactly it, isn't it? Tools all over the place. With this chest, hopefully, I've got everything that I will need in this small workshop, and it will sit all in this chest and on the back there. Anything else that I need above and beyond it normally comes in little cases like the DeWalt stuff and all the things like that. So that's fine. In here, I've got a full set of sockets, full set of spanners, Allen keys, other bits and pieces, and they should all be in one place. And also, when you open the drawers, they should all have a place to be, more importantly. So instead of tools in carrier bags and boxes and everything else that we've got scattered all over the place, we'll have this in here, and hopefully we'll have some other units for different workshops and in the truck. So firstly, let's open it up and we'll have a look exactly what we have inside. Okay then, one of the first things we notice about this is security. Right, we can't open these drawers, can't open the lid because we've got a lock on there, okay? So the locks, they're not the greatest locks, are they? It's just a deterrent. I'm in my own workshop. You know, we're all right in here. The shed's locked, alarmed, etc., etc., covered with CCTV. We're going to be fine. I don't think I'll need this. I've got more chance of losing the keys than somebody getting into here. So, but if you're in a shared workplace, they're your own tools, you're not there, you've got them locked up and you're away, that's great, isn't it? It's a secure box to keep them in. If I'm out and about, say if we bought one of these for the truck and we were out and about in the truck, you could leave it in the truck and leave it locked up. And again, somebody's got to get into your truck first before they get into your toolbox, unless they take the whole thing, but you just drill through the bottom and put a plate on there so it wouldn't move. So the security measures are great. They're not the thickest steel bars, but they're a deterrent, aren't they? Visual deterrent as well as a sort of time element to it as well. The longer somebody's trying to get into these things, the more chance they've got of getting caught. So, right, let's have a look at this and how it opens. There you go. We turn the key, we open it. I'll move the keys out of the way so you can see what I'm doing. That lock there needs a little bit of tightening up. It's not as tight as it should be from the factory, but we've got all the spanners and stuff to do it now, so that's not so bad. And then these bars, they just slide out. So they just slide out like that. And I presume you could just lie them down in the top if you wanted to. There's not actually anywhere to put them when they're being taken out of the chest, but they're there, aren't they? Oh, there's also a couple of carry handles on the side. I'll show you those later, or you might see it when we're just moving the stuff around. So if you need to pick it up and move it, no problem at all. But hopefully it should sit on the back there and keep all our tools nice and tidy. Now, talking of tools, let's have a look. I've taken the liberty of removing the cellophane wrapping. Everything came wrapped in cellophane, even the top with all the sockets. Unfortunately, it was kicked around a bit in transit, I think, and a lot of the sockets came out of their position. So I've got them here. Right, there's another dozen or so behind there. So they're all there. I'll sort those out as and when. I did notice, unfortunately, there aren't any numbers on the plastic insert on the top. I'll show you that in a minute. If there was, it'd be so much easier to put them back in. But unfortunately, there isn't. But we'll show you that a bit later. Let's start at the bottom drawer and we'll see what we've got. Bottom drawer then. As you can see, they're roller bearing drawers, so they're nice and easy to get in and out. It wobbles a bit, but that's only because it's on this engine repair table and it's all sloping into the drain holes down here. So on a flat surface, it's purely flat. Now, these plastic inserts are lift in and out if you so wish. You can take them out of here, put them in another drawer. If you're keeping it in your workshop, use the toolbox for something else. That's completely up to you. However, I'd like to keep them in there for me because I can see if I take these out and they're somewhere, you open the drawer and you can see that there's something missing. Okay, so we've got several sets of pliers in there, needle nose pliers, standard pliers, some like little snips, and I'm not sure what these are called. I'm not sure, they're like an adjustable set of pliers. Not sure the name of them, but they're in there and they are handy. I've used them before. Just be careful when using these because you will pinch your fingers. It's quite inevitable. It does happen. And over this side we've got a set of mole grips. Now these just need adjusting before we can open and close them, but they're over there as well. So you've got pretty much everything that you need for gripping stuff. If you can't, you know, use the sockets, spanners, etc., they're all in there. There's a few extra bits and pieces. We've got a little saw there, little hacksaw, which might come in handy. A tape measure, a bit of a flimsy tape measure. It's probably not the greatest one ever, but if you've got it in your box, it's in your box, isn't it? You use your normal tape measure. If you're ever stuck for finding one, you know it's in there and it's got its insert, so you know if it's missing. We've got a hammer, just a normal little hammer. Not much bigger than a toffee hammer really, but I suppose with this kit you're not going to be doing much more than that, are you? We've got a ball on that end. There's no claw, but we've got a ball for just tapping things in gently and shaping stuff if we have to. And we've got a little craft knife. Now these are all right for cutting bits of cable ties off and things like that, so they're not so bad. And they've got retractable blades, so they're quite safe. You're not leaving the blade out. And then in here we've got some token fixings. Well, you know, they have to make the numbers up, don't you, in these 300-piece kits, so you've got some token fixings in there. There's a few panel pins, a couple of picture hooks and stuff. Not quite sure what you need picture hooks for in a garage repair kit, but there you go, they're in there. So that's all in the bottom. You've got your pliers, your hammer, you're cutting bits and pieces, so it's a handy drawer really. And if you're changing this round to put other things in, this is the deepest drawer of the set as well, so you can take this out and put some other things in there. Say it's probably, you know, good couple of inches, well, 3 or 4 inches deep. You can get quite a bit of stuff in there if you like. Right, let's move up one then. Right, next drawer up then. What have we got in here? Allen keys, by the looks of it. You can see these, can't you? Now, these are all in their own little holders, which is a real bonus for me because you always lose it. There's always one that we always need for something and we always lose it. And we've got them in different sizes and different lengths as well. So that comes in quite handy. And then over here, we've got a little ratchet. If I can get that out. Here you go, we've got oh no, it's not a ratchet handle, it's just a standard handle. And then here we've got our little bits there. So we've got like our, I think they're PZ1s in there, they're quite sharp. And then we've got PZ2s there. And we go to like just normal flathead screwdriver bits all the way across. And then down to like star bits here and Torx bits. So if you're working on cars, a lot of things use Torx bits lately. So a lot of Torx bits on there and the hex bits as well. So they're all in there and they've got every size imaginable. Plus you've got multiples of each size as well. So when you work with the PZ2s, we know we all wear those out, don't we? So there's plenty of those in there. So that's a bonus really. I'm not sure how hard wearing they are. I haven't used any of this kit yet, but I can't see why they shouldn't be. The Clark stuff is generally quite good. It's of a standard, you know, so it's generally quite good. So we'll have to see how we get on with it. But that's that drawer. So really, that's for everything that you're turning. You need to screw in or screw out. That's all in this drawer with all these little bits. I think we have got some dedicated screwdrivers further up, but we'll have a look in the next drawer now. Right then, spanner drawer. This is a good one. Now, it starts off, the biggest spanner we got in there is a 17 ring spanner one end, 12 pointed, and an open spanner this end on there, and it's stamped on the one side but both ends, so it's 15 and 15, and drop forged steel on the other side. So they go down there and we go all the way down, and we've got actually, so we've got a 9mm, an 8mm, a 7mm. Now 7mm, right, I don't get many 7mm. In fact, I've got one over here and I keep that there. I do a lot of work on Ransom's mowers and I need a 7mm for tightening up the scraper wire at the back of the roller, right? So I've got this here, I've got this one that sits in here, I've got one that's in the truck attached to a key ring so I don't lose it, and one in my workshop attached to a little chain with something on the end of there so we don't lose them. So another 7mm is more than welcome. So they're a rare thing. They're in there. You don't see them very often. But we've got 7 in there, and it also goes down to 6mm, all right? And then we go over the other side. Now, you can get a slightly less expensive version of this chest with just metric tools in. However, I paid the extra, and I got the AF stuff, the Imperial stuff, 9/16 spanners, etc., because we work on some old lawnmowers, Land Rovers, whatever, occasionally, and the spanners don't quite fit with the metric. They're a bit sloppy sometimes, or sometimes they're tight and we have to hammer them on and off. And when you're working with old nuts and bolts, once you start to round them off, you do cause yourself a lot of problems. So it was worth it for us to pay the extra and get the Imperial stuff. Also at the top here, we've got an adjustable spanner. Now, I'm not really a fan of adjustable spanners. They serve a purpose. If you need something, you've got to grip something, they'll do. But if you can get a proper spanner on there, it's always better. It's always better to get a proper spanner on there rather than adjustable, because no matter how new and how expensive and how tight these are, there's always a little bit of play when you're moving the thing around. So that's my thoughts on it anyway. So I need to put that back to 0 so I can fit it in. But that's my thoughts on it anyway. So that's what I always think. If you can get a proper spanner on, get it on. And if you can get the ring end of the spanner on, even better, because there is nowhere for it to go. You sometimes get a bit of slippage in there if they're worn. In that end, it's not going to move. But just my personal opinion, I'm not a fan of those. If you need to use it, you're stuck, you use it, don't you? But otherwise, I try and keep away from those. Now, let's have a look at these little 3 drawers on the top. Now then, the first drawer over here is drill bits, believe it or not. I'll have a look at these. They're all pre-oiled. Look, I don't know if you can see the shine on those. They're oiled so they won't go rusty. And we'll just have a little look on there. My eyes on it's quite as good as they used to be, and it will give me the measurements it should on there. I think that says it's a 7mm across there. And let's have a look at the largest one. What have we got here? Largest one. It's covered in. So that's a 10mm. He said got HSS on there, so high speed steel drill bits. For drilling metal, you can get away with using them for wood if you need to, but they're for metal really. So we've got a 10mm at the top, then we've got a 9, 8, 7, 6, 2 5s, I think, unless these are 5s and halves. So yeah, 2 5s in there. They're a common size, aren't they? And then we go down to 4s as well. So we've got a couple of 4s in there. Then as we come up, we've got 3, 2, 1, and we've got like multiples of halves and down to tiny, tiny drill bits in here. And the smaller they are, the more fragile they are, the easier they are to break. So there's quite a few of the smaller ones in there. So that's always handy. There's a lot of, it's nothing worse, isn't it, just having one of each and you can just get it out, you broke that, and then you're buying a set to replace a set, and you put the set that you've bought in a drawer somewhere, and you break another one, you can't find the set to take the spare one out and put it in, so you buy another set and you end up with loads of sets with various bits in, which is what I've got, hundreds of the things knocking about. So try and keep it all in one place. But that's that little drawer, so there's some stuff in there. And then next we move along to the screwdrivers. So in the drawer below we've got the handle there with the various bits that we can put in and out. However, if you're on a dedicated screwdriver, this is the drawer for those. And we go down to like, what's that, a 3/16 screwdriver and a 1/4 by 4-inch screwdriver. I'm not sure why they're named like that. They just seem to me flatheads and posi drives, basically. That's how they work. And they're from like, you got some short stubby ones over here, if I can get them out. Short stubby one over there. They're always handy when you're working in confined spaces, aren't they? They're not so bad. And then like the longer ones with a bit of a better blade on, get a bit of purchase on them with that. And talking of purchase, I don't know if anybody knows this, but if you're ever struggling with these, we use impact wrenches, drivers and whatever these days. But if you can't get one of those in, or you haven't got anything long enough, and you can get one of these in, you can always route around. I did put one handy first. There's a 20mm socket, and a 20mm socket, 6-sided socket, will fit on the top of there, right? So you can put your ratchet on the top, put some pressure on it, and you can turn that round to screw in, or the other way to unscrew. So it's just something a bit different. You know, we've all got like all the tools for every occasion, have we? But if we can adapt stuff, then you know, we're winning in life, aren't we? Now, the last drawer over here. Last drawer over here is your precision screwdrivers. Now, these are something worth holding on to, really, aren't they? And they're always something that gets lost and sort of kicked around and disappears. They're like super fine stuff, you know, in there. So when you're looking at unscrewing the screws on the back of remote controls and things like that for anything you might need, or small tight electrical work, and they are insulated as well, they're rubber handled. And these ones, we've got the Torx bits in there, the star ones as well, so they're very handy to have. All the sizes for everything are listed on the box, so if you need to know exactly what you've got, you can look in there. But as I was saying, you know, we've got all the spanners, they're listed, like, that's no problem, they're all in there. Unfortunately, we've got no printing for these. We don't know what size these Allen keys are or hex drives are, but you put one on, you need a bigger one, you move up, you need a smaller one, you move down. And the way they're laid out in there, you know, biggest at the bottom, smallest, biggest at the top, smallest. So you just go up and down, and it's not difficult, is it, to find out. And you know which one you've had because there's a space empty. So that's it. Right, let's have a look at the top then. Okay then, we're up at the top now, looking at the spanners and the sockets. Just a little thing, while you lift this lid up out the way, you can clip this into place so it doesn't fall down when you're picking things in and out. Now, first impressions, great, big selection of sockets. This is really what I've bought this toolkit for, is I'd like these sockets here. I've got different sizes. I've got imperial and metric. We've got deep sockets, shallow sockets, thin sockets, everything that's needed really. We've got extension bars as well. So for everything that we're going to do, spark plug removers, always great for what I'm doing. Little bit of adjusters and things like that. So it's great. One thing, there isn't a breaker bar in here, but I'm probably not going to be working on stuff that I require a breaker bar. If you do, my advice is to go in the Machine Mark catalogue. You can buy a wheel wrench just on its own, and it extends out, and it will take the 1/2-inch drive sockets, and you can give it some welly with one of those. But we've got the larger ratchet there, so they seem solidly made. They're just, you twist it one way or the other. You can hear the gearing. I should think that's quite loud, especially with my microphone. So they're quite solid. We've got that, then we've got the next one down, and we go right down to the little, oh, that was difficult to get out, little quarter drive one there. And they've got the little ball bearing spring. So when you're pushing the sockets on and off, it's quite easy. You don't have to press this in to release anything. It just clips in and out and rolls over there and stays in place when you need it to. So that's good. I'm happy with that. I'm happy with the layout as well. You can see where things are. One thing I'm not very happy about is there isn't any labelling on the top. Now, I did mention that before, and it is a bit of a bugbear, because when I'm doing something, I want to pick up, I don't know, 16mm or whatever it is, I can go along, and unless I've sort of faced these up with their sizing at the top, then, you know, or at least a couple of them in the row with their sizing at the top, you're going to find it difficult to pick out which one you actually need. You know, we've all got a rough idea of the size we're after and whereabouts they are, but there's no labelling on the box. And in transit, you can see these down here. There was a cellophane wrap on here like on all the others, but this got thrown about and all these came out. Now, I've got them all here. We've got, you know, that's a 7/8 socket, 6-sided, right, sat there. Next to it, we've got what we've got here, a 7/16 for a quarter drive, so that's in there. I've got a 7/16 6-sided for 1/2-inch drive. I've got, what else have we got? We've got all sorts in here. Right, I can't even see the number on that one. That's a 12-sided 3/8. So we've got 12-sided, 6-sided, imperial, metric. We've got everything in here, and it's very, very difficult to put them back because I've had to just make it up as I go along and try and fit them in from where they're going. Now, I did have a look at the box. Right, I had a look at the box to get the general idea, and obviously some slots are longer and some slots are shorter, but it's very difficult, hence I'm recording this video without the rest of these being fitted in there. Now, I'm sure as time goes on it'll be a bit easier, and they'll be a bit easier to pull in and out. They don't seem to have any grip when they're in there. If I was to, you know, jiggle this about, all of these would just come out and they'd roll around. So that's not great. For us, it's going to sit here on the workbench and it's not moving anywhere, so we shouldn't have any problem. Might slow me down a bit when I'm trying to pick a socket out for a certain, you know, of a certain size, because you've got to sort through them really to find out which one's which. But if this was going in the truck, I don't think I'd be very happy with it in the truck, because as we're driving around and bouncing around, all these would come out and they would get jumbled up, which is the problem we have in the truck with the one we use at the moment. So it's definitely something to make sure of if you're using these on the move, or either that, or you have to buy yourself a piece of thick foam, put the thick foam on the top, push the lid down, pull it down tight and lock it every single time, so it's just holding everything in place as you're moving. But apart from that, the sockets, I mean, goodness me, they're like nice and thick metal, aren't they? They're well made. They are well made, and we put the 21 on the screwdriver earlier, and there's no play in it at all. You know, they're well made sockets, really thick walled sockets as well, and they've got, you know, not nice. There's no burring in there or anything, and they've got the little indent to lock all the way around, so you're not fumbling around trying to spin it round. Some are better than others. It's just click straight in, and it's whichever way you go on. Even if we go to the smaller sockets, look, you know, that's a 3/8 there. You can see the thickness of the metal on those 3/8. They're good sockets, so I'm happy with that. And same with the spanners. They're good, strong spanners as well, which is, you know, what you need. You do tend to lean on them a little bit more than you should do. And look at this, you know, extension bar, how thick that is. I mean, that's quality. There's a lot of metal in these. Even the smaller drive extension bar is real thick, solid piece of metal. So there's a lot of metal in these. So despite the problem with the labelling and the flimsy sort of plastic inserts, they are good quality sockets. And this spark plug one, my goodness, there's a big thick piece of metal on there. You're never going to slip with that, are you? And there's also, like for the spark plugs, there's a rubber insert in there. You probably can't see it, but there's a rubber insert in there as well. And then what you do is you just poke through the back and knock the plug out when you're finished. So all in all, on top of there, I'm happy with it. Bit unfortunate about the markings up, but I am happy with it. I just got to spend a few moments getting all these back in to where they should go, and then when they're all in place, I should think, you know, it'd be a good set. And you've got to be on the ball, haven't you? Because when you look in there, you can see that there's one missing. So if you've got one out at a time, you can put it back where it's come from. If you've got half a dozen out at a time, you're working on something, doing different things, you've got to have a few moments, bit of thinking time, just to make sure they go back in the right spaces, so you know where they are. But there you go. Right, let's just show you now putting the lid down. So the lid comes down now without the locking bars in or anything, and the lid just sits snugly on the top. So it's all there, and we've got the carry handles on the side so you can lift it up. My goodness, it's heavy. 24 kgs that is, they say in the info. So all in all, I'm quite happy with it. We had speedy delivery from Machine Mart as well. It was here. I ordered it. It was here within a couple of days. I could have paid for next day delivery, but I wasn't in any particular rush. Got a bit of tidying up to do, as you can see behind. But all this is going to be tidied up, and we'll get it all as a working sort of workshop properly, instead of just fumbling about with bits and pieces on the table. And hopefully this will be an integral part of it. So that was my thoughts then on the Clark 300-piece AF Metric home garage repair kit, basically a home toolbox for your workshop or your shed or your garage or wherever you're going to keep it. All in all, I think it's good value for money. There are things in there that I probably won't use. There are things in there that I'll use a lot. Time will only tell of the quality of the bits and pieces. I can vouch for the sockets. They're definitely thick metal. They'll last a long time, they will. And the spanners, they look good quality as well. The drill bits are pretty good. As for the rest of it, Who knows? We'll see how it all pans out. Make sure you give me the thumbs up and subscribe. I'll do a 12-month review 12 months from now and see how we've got on. And I'll tell you what, if I've still got all the bits in there, I'll be absolutely amazed. Thanks for watching. I'm Jimmy the Mower. I'll catch you on the next one.